everybody, and what's up, fighters? Fightman64 here, and welcome back to some more F-Zero GX! Last time we took on one of the worst chapters of the game by saving one of my favorite female characters in the F-Zero franchise, Jody Summer. And we went to rescue Jody to escape from the power plant that was soon to explode. And we had a bad time with that chapter, especially on the hardest difficulty, where it took me at least a couple hours to beat the mission on very hard before eventually catching a break. And now, with part of that stress done and out of the way, we're ready to move on to the 6th chapter of the game, Black Shadow's Trap. And we'll see what nasty surprise he has for us for this chapter and in this episode of F-Zero GX. So, like always, before we begin, if y'all could do me a huge favor and punch that like button on this video, I would really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button today if you're not subscribed already, because there's still a lot of you watching my videos as a non-subscriber. So, if you could, and you're watching it now as a non-subscriber, consider subscribing today, and let's reach that next goal of 700 subscribers. And hit the notification bell if you enjoy gaming content such as this one. Only 4 chapters remain after Chapter 5. And next is Black Shadow's Trap. After saving Jody Summer, Captain Falcon finally catches up to the villain himself, Black Shadow.
Falcon, you've come to die. I needn't have wasted time looking for you then. Let's settle this at the Grand Prix. Not like this. It's the coward's way. The coward's way? You make it sound so noble. I just plan to eliminate anyone who stands between me and the prize. Simple as that. Falcon, take this! Ah! What are you doing? Come out, Blood Falcon. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Farewell, Captain Falcon. You and Blue Falcon can die together.
It turned out the nasty surprise is that he and Captain Falcon's clone, Blue Falcon, had planted a bomb on the Blue Falcon. In this case, our bomb is speed sensitive. Keep your speed over 700 kilometers an hour while completing the whole track from a race to the finish. And it is a long one, as you can see. But it's really nothing too difficult for me. So, this one is like one of the longest race to the finish track in the game to play. And this one can be quite stressful if you're not good at dealing with the pressure while trying to keep your speed at a decent amount. So what you're going to see here is we got vehicles to dodge, as well as the guardrails to obviously not hit, because dropping under 700 kilometers an hour, well, as you guys just saw earlier, will make the vehicle explode. If your vehicle drops to a certain speed at anywhere at any given point, it's game over, no questions asked. And for this one, you want to be very careful with how you maneuver the track, going as far as dodging vehicles and all that other stuff. But thankfully, those vehicles will move out of your way. I guess that's because they know that you have a bomb in your possession. Now, what I will say in advance also is that there are some pretty mean turns here and there. as well as an area where you are required to save your energy for when you start boosted away. Now, given any tips of advice for this chapter, well, I would prefer you not use up your boost right away, as if that can eventually kill you, and in the fact that there are no pit stops to be found anywhere at any given point, meaning that you have to be very, very conservative of your energy as you follow down the highway up to the finish line. In that sense, your L and R button will also be very useful here for some of the sharp turns that you'll be taking along the way. So yeah, plan ahead. Think about the speed that you're on right now, and just take extra cautious and just take your sweet time, because if you can keep calm and keep yourself from being under too much pressure, then this mission should not be an issue to you. Although I have failed a couple times starting off the run, but that was like early fails, obviously. Now there is one section where you are going to have to boost, because if you don't boost, well, you're going to die, obviously. The narrow path can actually also be a bit of a menace if you're not careful. But other than that, the narrow road is pretty straightforward. Now here's the part where you want. Okay, so now here's the part where you do want to boost, because boosting is going to be very important for this section here. Because as you notice, there are some dirt section to be had, and dirt slows you down. And that is where you are going to need to use your boost. Because if you don't use your boost, it'll soon drop too low to the point where you cannot beat the mission. And then after that, you are home free. So now that's 6 chapters done and 3 more to go after that. And the next chapter we get is like the penultimate chapter of the entire game. And what I believe is the hardest chapter out of all the chapters that we've done. Even worse than chapter 5, in my personal opinion. And the thing about Chapter 7 is that you're going to be spending a lot of time trying to beat your opponent and do the most difficult challenge of them all. Winning the Grand Prix, of course. And that chapter really pulls no punches there. And you'll see why next episode, once we're done dealing with the, maintaining a decent speed. So now, our limit is 750 kilometers an hour. After beating it on the normal difficulty. So yeah, between Chapter 5 and Chapter 7, I gotta say the next chapter coming up is like the hardest one of them all. Because of how much pressure you're gonna be feeling by when you get started on the Grand Prix and that stuff. I also will say as well that the vehicles, the NPC vehicles that you see on the road, those guys can be a little bit annoying sometimes, but as long as you stay calm under pressure, you should be okay. Also, if you feel the need that you need to change the controller and your L and R trigger is not working for you properly, there is always the option to choose from, to make some adjustment. in case your trigger button is have like issues and whatnot. I'm sorry if my sword is bothering me and that I'm having like trouble talking, but that's something that's been going on for weeks. And the winter season for me has been like rough this year by the time I am recording this as of now. Similar with what happened midway through during Super Mario Advance. The last Let's Play that I just recently finished, of course. But anyway, yeah. Furthermore, I don't really have that much to say, really, with like health problems and that stuff. Because really, I hate the winter season, and I think most people does as well. But if that's not your least favorite season, then I don't know what is at this rate. But winter season is not something we're talking about right now. We're talking about F-Zero GX. Staying calm and maintaining a decent speed without dropping too low. When a bomb is planted in your vehicle. Like Black Shadow and Blood Falcon. And Blood Falcon is also a character you want to remember for in the next chapter coming up, because he and Black Shadow, they can be a bit of a nuisance in the next one. That if you don't play your execution right. In that sense. But yeah. Not far until we get to the finish line. And honestly, I kind of wish this track was a bit more creative and a lot more difficult, rather than like having to, you know, save your booth until a certain part is needed. But anyway, the part you get on hard difficulty for Chapter 6 are as follows: Sparkbird, Space Cancer, and Punisher 4X. So far, we have not really struggled too much on normal or hard difficulty on any of the chapters so far. But the very hard one is where the game really challenged your skills and put it to the test. Albeit what had happened in the last episode we did, which took me about almost 2 hours to complete. The final difficulty for Mission 6 is to keep your speed over 800 kilometers an hour. Which is a little bit hard, but nonetheless, it's still the same track, more vehicles and that stuff, really. Only boost when you need to. If you feel like you're in danger of maybe dropping too low on how much speed you're currently maintaining at this rate, and that vehicle was being a complete jerk on my end. That guy intentionally cut me off. Screw that guy, really. That was just rude. But really, the trick here on completing the mission is to like about always stay in the center, because those NPC vehicles, they will move either left or right, depending on which corner they are the closest to. That really is the key point on how to maneuver around the incoming cars that are NPCs. Yeah, those things are not playable, just for those wondering. They're just NPC cars that are just, well, there, of course. I do like this music though. This one's actually pretty good. In fact, a lot of the music in the story mode and in the Grand Prix mode, which we'll do later, they have a lot of very good songs on there that just completely leave me jamming out to the music and head banging toward it. I mean, F-Zero music, they're awesome. I mean, I can't really think of a single game that has like any bad music when it comes to the F-Zero franchise, because most of the music they play, it rocks. And I mean, it does. And I have a fun time every time I play F-Zero. I mean, unless you're doing very hard missions, of course. Just like the last episode, which I have said a few times. Almost home free though. We're just about done with this chapter. Just gotta dodge a few more vehicles, not crash into many walls, and we're good. And that does it. It did not take us long to beat Chapter 6. For our reward, we get one of the worst vehicles in the game, Silver Rat, which is controlled by yet another kid, much younger than the last racer we saw when we unlocked him in the last episode. And with that, only 3 chapters remain, and next episode will be the penultimate chapter of the entire story mode. And something tells me we're going to be spending quite a lot of time there, and that will not be fun, just to say. Anyway, next set of vehicles I want to purchase. Let's go with Super Piranha, Big Fang. I've been meaning to buy him for quite some time, and I guess I'll go with Michael Chain's Wild Boar, which we saw in Chapter 4, of course. And now there's only 5 more unlockable vehicles that remained after 6 chapters. So, on that further note, let me get back to the story mode real quick. That is going to be it for this episode of F-Zero GX. So, once again, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching this. And if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to see the penultimate chapter, which I believe is the hardest chapter of the game, next to Chapter 5, with Chapter 5 being the second hardest, in my opinion, don't forget to punch that like button. And I'll see you guys next time. So, once again, I am Fightman64. See you all. Have a good day. Game on, my friend, and take care. Goodbye, everybody, and stay safe. Adios.